I just remember one more notable New York City person I rode with. I interviewed Kenny Kramer. He was the guy that lived across the hall from Larry David, who was the basis for Kramer in the Seinfeld TV show. My name is Don Kierden. Other people call me Captain Dondo. That was my pen name when I worked for Mountain Bike Magazine. I'm currently self-employed as a licensed psychotherapist. I used to race my bicycle in Central Park early in the morning on Sundays. I also raced in Prospect Park in Brooklyn and various places on Long Island. When I was 15, I met a guy named Phil Fisher, who was a bicycle frame builder in Albany, New York. And I couldn't believe my good fortune to have found someone who actually takes the lugs and the tubes and braces them together and then paints the bike and builds it all up. And I spent 4 years hanging around at his shop, learning how to do that stuff. So I became a bicycle mechanic. I was working at a bicycle store in Putney, Vermont, and one of the customers was the editor of Velo News, which was the national bicycle racing newspaper at the time. And we were sending out a bike club newsletter that I was writing. And he got a job as executive editor at Bicycling Magazine. Calls me up and says, "Hey, you want a job?" And I said, "I have a job." He said, "Hey, you want me to fly you to Pennsylvania? We can ride around for the weekend?" I said, "Done." I flew down there and we rode around for a weekend, and I decided I'd be an idiot if I didn't try this for 3 months. I stayed for 15 years. I did a series of stories there. It started, actually, as soon as I got there, I had this plan. I wanted to ride Paris-Roubaix, which is the hardest single-day bicycle road race in the world. It's called l'Enfer du Nord. It's French for the hell of the north. I wanted to do it. So I got Bicycling Magazine to foot the bill. I did the cyclotourist version of it, like the randonnée, and survived that. Wrote a story. It was gangbusters. They loved it. And it sort of kicked off this notion of like, hey, let's get Dondo to go do stories about people that earn their living in the saddle. So like, he's done Bike Racer. What should we do next? How about New York Bicycle Messenger? Somebody knew somebody. This guy Wayne down on 4th between A and B. Teddy and the Rough Riders. It was a bicycle messenger company. So I came and I did 5 days of bike messengering. This bag I acquired in September of 1989 from Manhattan Portage, right there. And it was a fabulous bag. I used it for those 5 days as a bike messenger, and I've been using it, and not every day, but every year since then. This is Bicycling Magazine. At the time, it was the largest cycling publication in the world in terms of circulation. Wrote a feature story. I was a New York City bicycle messenger. And yes, that little grommet there in the picture is me. It was an adventure, and it was a blast. I enjoyed, for 5 days, being part of the menace of New York. I think if you want to be good at anything in this life, get good at starting over. We shine it on Instagram and walking on the street, with our fancy clothes and what have you. Then we go home and we're miserable. Stop. Go do something else. That's what I did. I'm Don Kierden, and I'm New York tough.